Imagine having all of the money in the world and all the advantages in the world and still not being able to be liked or get ahead or get a girlfriend. For this, the world would pay. And today we're going to talk about one of my most interesting topics that I like to talk about, the Supreme Gentleman, Elliot Rodgers. He is like the leader of the incels. Do you know what an incel is? No? Let me tell you about what an incel is. An incel is a man, typically a boy. I don't know how many men are in this group that are involuntarily celibate. They have all these online forums, these groups, they do gaming together. They hate women, they talk about why they are owed sex and yeah, I don't know. I don't know. Let's get into it. Let's get spooky cuz it's spooky. Okay. So, I am Detroit Allycat. I am the best YouTuber out there. Just kidding. I'm a micro YouTuber trying to become a macro YouTuber. So I cover everything true crime, paranormal, anything spooky, unusual, weird, and this dude is weird. And I try to do it in my own little way. If you like me or my videos, please subscribe, leave a like, leave a comment. It gets so very lonely. I am like trying so hard to charge ahead and yeah, I just wanna know what you think. Like, I had some woman leave a comment, "Why do you always interrupt yourself?" I appreciated that comment. That meant someone was watching. I do interrupt myself because I do think I have a little bit of what you call ADD. Also, in the background, you might hear my dogs barking. I I myself and my family rescue dogs, and you can check them in my shorts. They're very cute. If these videos become overwhelming, you could just head on over to my shorts, watch some dog videos, and feel better about your life. I personally think they make me feel better about my life. All right, let's get into it. Let's get into Elliot Rodgers because this dude is something. Okay, so Elliot Rodgers. First off, I would like to say this whole incel group is like based on guys that are not like attractive and women don't like them or they're creepy. Okay, it Elliot Rodgers was cute. Like he was a good looking dude. So for him not to be able to get a girlfriend or have relations with a woman had absolutely nothing to do with the way he looked. And also something that's really standoutish about Elliot Rodgers is that he had a YouTube channel that he would talk about how he was going to make all the women of the world pay for not dating him, which I think is so odd. Like YouTube won't even let you say suicide, but they're gonna let this guy go on YouTube and, like, talk about how they're gonna make women pay for not sleeping with them? It's confusing. It's confusing times, my friends. Okay, so Elliot Rodgers was also racist, which is really complicated because he is half Asian and he was racist against Asian people. I'm laughing. I can laugh. This was the incident that he I'll just give you the, like, end game of Elliot Rodgers. He ran around and killed a bunch of people. He's a messed up guy. There's nothing funny about what he did, but the fact that he was racist against Asian people and that he was half Asian, like, dude, I don't know. I just think that's freaking weird, right? Like, how are you gonna be racist against Asian people and be, like, Asian? And also, not only that, like his friend like the few friends that he had and his roommates, they were Asian. So he would make like these YouTube like videos about how he hated Asian people and they were, like, below average and they were the scum of the earth, and, like, he's, like, living with Asian people. Like, I don't know, like, do you think his roommates ever, like, went on his YouTube channel and, like, watched him sitting there talking about how much Asian people are, like, scum of the earth? And we're like, "Hey, dude, like, did you know you're Asian and I'm Asian and, like, you're saying some stuff that's weird?" These are questions I can't answer, but I can tell you that some of his roommates started out as his friends, and by the end of his staying with him, they ended up not liking him, as they should. So, also, Elliot Rodgers, his family, they're from California, they're in the Santa Barbara area. Fun fact, Santa Barbara is, like, the whole, like, scene where The Lost Boys was supposed to be filmed. I love The Lost Boys, best movie of all times. But anyway, so this kid is, like, in Santa Barbara. He's in, like, where all the mover and shakers of the world are. And his family, his mom and dad, they had money, right? And they were in filmmaking, and his mom actually knew Steven Spielberg and George Lucas, and he got invited to go to the red carpet premiere of Star Wars. Can we just repeat that? You got invited to go to the red carpet premiere of Star Wars. I wanna be invited to the red carpet premiere of Star Wars. Like, this kid had, like, a lot of, I don't know, advantages that normal people don't have. And I guess he would go to school and he would brag about going and having that opportunity. But then he decided to stop bragging about that opportunity because he felt that it was nerdy. I don't know. I don't know. Okay, so let's just talk about him as a person and what he did, all right? So he makes all these videos. He does a lot of inappropriate stuff. We could talk about what Elliot Rodgers did for hours that were inappropriate, but do you want to do that? I don't know if you want to do that. I do want to talk about um his person. I've never heard of this. His personality disorder. I got to put my glasses on for that. Thought I would do, like, an easy video today because I was like, "Elliot Rodgers, that should totally be easy." And then, like, I'm reading so much stuff, like, this kid was so messed up. Have you noticed, and I know that everybody's gonna think I'm a jerk for saying this, but, like, everyone's claim to why they're a bad person now is because they're autistic. I know that a lot of people are gonna be like, "That's so messed up that you say that." But I just feel like some people are out there saying that they're autistic and they're not autistic, and they're using it as an excuse to be a bad person. Like, a lot of the autistic people that I genuinely know with a diagnosis, they don't go around telling people that they're autistic because they don't want people to know that they're autistic. I don't know. I do think that there are autistic people. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that it's being used to explain why you're doing bad behavior. That's what I think. And I think that that's not cool because people with autism really struggle. Oh my gosh, where is this thing? He had some kind of, like, it was a form of autism. And he never told anybody. Oh my gosh. Am I gonna sit here and Google this the entire time? I would just wanna read it to you. Okay, we're just gonna Google it because 'cause it'll be easier. Elliot Rodgers form of autism. I'm just telling you about this because it's really, he did not have Asperger's syndrome. It says that he had Asperger's syndrome, but no, it was a high functioning form of autism spectrum, ASD. It was called something else, I guess they're calling it Asperger's. I didn't know that they still had Asperger's. I guess that's like a big controversy. Like, is Asperger's real or is Asperger's not real? I don't know. He had some kind of like high functioning autism spectrum. And I had never even heard of it. And I wish I could find the word for it. And it makes me so sad that I can't. But he had a bunch of other things along with it. Mental health professionals and autism advocacy groups emphasize that Asperger's syndrome and autism do not cause violent or homicidal behaviors. And just because you're autistic, it doesn't cause bad behavior. I think that, like, it's just a different way of thinking. And there is definitely a spectrum, but like, you can't just be a jerk and say it's because of autism. That's just my personal feelings. I'm not a doctor. I'm not a scientist. You can disagree with me all day, but I just like, I see all these people online saying that, they did this, this, and this because they're autistic. And it's like, no, you did that because you made a bad decision. Are you autistic? Maybe, but like it doesn't have anything to do with like how you I don't know. That's a whole nother video. Under Let's go back to Elliot Rodgers. Underlying behavior drivers. Experts attribute Rodgers' 2014 rampage and Isla Vista, which is really close to Santa Barbara, primarily to misogyny, I can never say that word right, a sense of entitlement, extreme narcissism, and narcissistic rage, rather than his neurodevelopmental diagnosis. They had like a term for it, and I really wanted to tell you it, but as soon as we got on here, I lost it. Oh, I found it. I found it. Pervasive developmental disorder. I have never heard of this, and I just wanna tell you what it is. Pervasive developmental disorder not otherwise specified, PPD-NOS, is a historic psychiatric diagnosis first defined in 1980 that has since been incorporated into the autism spectrum disorder in the DSM-5. Okay, can I ask you guys a question for real? Do you think that they kind of like just make stuff up because they can't understand it? Or do you think this stuff is legit? I'm not trying to be a smartass. I like straight up want to know. Do I think that this guy was probably autistic? Probably, but like I've never heard of persuasive developmental disorder, but I'm also not a doctor, so I didn't go to school for it. According to the earlier DSM-4, it's referred to mild or severe pervasive deficits and the developmental of reciprocal social interaction or verbal nonverbal communication skills when stereotyped behavior, interests, or activities are present, but the criteria are met for a specified PDD or several other disorders. It just sounds like they're saying that it falls on the spectrum and that they're highly functioning. This whole Asperger's thing, like I think that is like people are trying to say that that doesn't exist. Other people are saying that does exist. I don't know. I don't know. I just know that a whole lot of people are saying they're autistic now, and I just feel kind of bad about that because that's a very it's a severe hard thing to deal with, and I see so many parents that have to deal with this, and it's not like I don't know. That's just a whole nother video. I I I hope I'm not offending you, but at the same time, like, also, like, you can't just go around doing bad things and saying, "Oh, it's okay because 'cause I'm autistic and I just don't understand things like the way you do." I don't think it works like that. I mean, it might work like that, but not the way you're thinking it worked like that. Let's go back to Elliot Rodgers. Back to Elliot Rodgers. Okay, let's talk about why he's on my radar. On May 23rd, 2014, Rogers murdered 6 people, injured 14 others using knives, semi automatic pistols, in his car as a weapon in Isla Vista near the university. of California. Rogers first killed his two roommates and their friends in the apartment they shared, ambushing and stabbing them one at a time. And then after he did that, so I'm just going to take a wild guess and say that he's showing sociopathic tendencies because after he did that without any bother, he went and got Starbucks. And also, just so you know, after he killed one guy, he'd clean up. So the other guy didn't know that the one guy was dead, which I think is very cold and calculated. Continuing on. Then he drove to Alpha Phi sorority house where he intended to murder its occupants but was unable to enter the premises. Good for them. Good for them for locking the doors. Lock those doors, girls. Roger instead shot 3 women from the Delta. Why do they do that? Why do they Delta sorority who were walking near the Alpha Phi sorority house, killing 2 of them while critically injuring the third. And then he shot somebody else at a little cafe or whatever. And then he took his vehicle and he crashed it into another vehicle. The cops descended. They went to go check out the vehicle. And, yeah, he had killed himself. But the reason that they called him the, Supreme Gentleman is because he made this I don't wanna say iconic, uh, that's not the word. Um, what would be a good word for something horrible? He made this horrible famous I'll think of another word later, horrible famous video where he sat there talking about why women should wanna date him, how awesome he is, and how he was the supreme gentleman. And you would think that this creepy video would be, something people watched and were like, "What the heck?" And would not want to be. Oh, no, 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 no. He became the leader of the incels. He became like an idol of the incels. And now he's always known. So I just thought I would make a video about it because I think it's important that you guys know about this. I just found out yesterday, there's a whole thing on incels on this group called 4chan. I've heard so much about 4chan. I want to go on 4chan and check it out, but at the same time, there's things that I don't feel comfortable watching. And I'm pretty sure some of that stuff is on 4chan. And one day I'll make it over there, but right now I'm not going to. And to be clear, just jumping backwards, I do believe people have autism. I do believe children have autism, and my heart goes out to them and their struggles. I just get a little bit upset when I feel that something that is very hard to deal with and challenging to deal with is being claimed by people just to commit bad behavior. This is just my thoughts. I could be wrong. I could be controversial. I don't know. It is my 21st day doing the 30 days of YouTube, so I am a little bit loopy. I always do the loopy video. I hope you enjoyed this. There is more about Elliot Rodgers. You can still find his videos online, and they're really creepy. They're really spooky. And honestly, I'm kinda happy he's not alive. I don't like to say that a lot, but I just don't know, I just don't know if people like that should survive. And what's even weirder, and this is another fun fact of Elliot Rodgers, he has a brother, and his brother is also half Asian, half white, and his brother went on to be, a successful actor and get plenty of girlfriends and be very good looking, and he looks so much like Elliot Rodgers. It's almost like if Elliot Rodgers wasn't a jerk and wasn't a weirdo, that is what he would have turned out to be, but his ego, I mean, there had to be something wrong with them. There just had to be, I don't know. But yeah, his brother's doing great. His family's doing great. It really sucks that happened, and I hope that all the people involved in this incident are healing and doing well. It happened in 2014, so that's 12 years ago, so I can not be so serious, but I am serious because there are plenty of guys still out there like that, and they're definitely scary and weird and creeping, and they're on online channels. And why do they want to play War or Warcraft? I don't know, but that's their thing. Not saying War of Warcraft is bad. Am I saying that? World of Warcraft. All the World of Warcraft people were like, "Oh my gosh." Okay, listen, that's it. That's it. I've given my unhinged opinion to you today about Elliot Rodgers and rambled on, and some of you just shook your head saying, "What the F?" And I enjoyed having you on my channel. Thank you so much for watching. Please leave a comment telling me if you think I'm crazy. I think you should have a beautiful day. Stay safe, stay spooky, don't be an incel. That's it. Bye.